Street Fighter V ended with 45 characters. If they truly want this to be the best game in the series yet, I am hoping that they take the roster size to the number they planned for Street Fighter V. We are talking roster size, let's get into it. Everyone knows that the roster is one of the most exciting parts of the Street Fighter games. Street Fighter I only had 2 playable but 12 on the roster list. Street Fighter II enhances that to 8 playable characters with a roster of 12, soon after making all 12 playable and moving to having 17 playable. Street Fighter Alpha came out with a roster of 13 playable characters, while Street Fighter Alpha 2 increased that to 18. Street Fighter III soon came out with a 12-character roster and increased that to 15, with Street Fighter III Second Impact. Street Fighter Alpha 3 came out ending the Alpha series with a roster count of 38, the largest so far. The following year, Street Fighter III Third Strike comes out and its final roster increases to 20, decreasing overall by 18 when comparing it to the series that ended before it. After a 9-year hiatus, Street Fighter IV is released with a roster of 19 and the home version having 25. Super Street Fighter IV is released and increased that number to 35. Once Ultra Street Fighter IV is released to finish the series, its final roster count increased to 44, the largest roster the franchise has seen. This was good because a lot of fan favorites returned, and a variety of characters could be chosen. When Street Fighter V was released, it gave users the starting roster and the first wave of DLC character bring that count to 22. The DLC characters came in a wave of 6 for each season except for the last and 5th season, which ended it with 5 characters bring the total number to 45 or 46 if you include 11 as a new character, making this game top Street Fighter IV's 44-character cap. For Street Fighter VI, we know that we have 22 characters so far thanks to the second leak. It's a coincidence that they both started us off with knowing that we will have 22 characters the first year. In the case of Street Fighter V, it was supposed to have 6 seasons with 6 characters each. This would have brought the character count to 52 characters. So, I believe that Street Fighter VI is going to have those plans, a final roster of 52 or more characters. Street Fighter X Tekken had 50 with 5 guest characters, so I would put the final roster between 52 to 55 characters. If they truly want to keep the positive progression, fulfilling that original plan would be a good continuation from what they have shown us so far. Now, to be exact and realistic, we will keep that final roster number at 52, seeing that it is a big enough jump from 46 characters like 38 to 44 was. The drop by 18 characters before the hiatus shows a correlation between how the fans perceive the Street Fighter game out currently. At first, Street Fighter III wasn't on everyone's playlist, but Third Strike did help that, and throughout the hiatus, the game mechanics help us get through it. That increase in starting roster, upcoming characters, and final roster correlates with how Street Fighter IV was perceived, and the mechanics helped the game as well progressively throughout the series. Percent made a grave mistake on its start due to the build, but had a good starting roster number. With the characters added and build going back to normal and increasing from there, the game became another good one in the end. That's my thoughts on the final roster count. If you have any thought, please share them in the comments. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on this.